Hey there, this is Joel, and on this video I'm going to talk a little bit about states. So the best way to describe states in a different way from switches is that switches are more player-dependent trigger. So a very good example is that, like I gave in my switches video, is when you're walking on grass in the game, the trigger for setting the switch to grass in Wwise is going to be activated, and the grass footsteps are going to be played. Whereas here in states, let's say that you are in a first person shooter and you get shot, you can't evade all the gunshots, your life gets really low. So you start hearing that low past muffled sound with the heartbeat playing. So that's a good example for a state in which the actions of the player are the direct result from what's happening in the game. So I'm going to talk about states here using music. Let's go to Wise. And on my interactive music hierarchy, I created this music playlist called music, and I have an intro and an in-game. Let's just first change to our interactive music layout and listen to it. So this is in a sequence continuous, so it starts playing on 0 intro and goes to 1 in-game. So let's start. Alright, so this is our in-game music. This kind of like very drum and bassy, liquid, let's say, vibe. What I did in the states is, if you can see here, the music state, there's an in-game and there's an off-game. So on the off-game, we get this very, we get this low pass, lower volume music. All right, so we've seen these states, but how do they work here? States have transition time, so we can define them from one to the other, or being bilateral, so going from in-game, off-game, and out-game to in-game being the same here through this checkbox. But right now, I don't want it this way. So we have our game sync defined. We have our music defined. We have to set the game sync to work the way that we want it to. So if we let's just drop this down a little bit and let's check here. The in-game that I changed in states was essentially voice volume and low pass filtering and high pass filtering inside each of the individual music tracks that I've added to my music section here at one in-game. So this is changing according to when the off-game state is triggered. Once this is done, we need to set an event. So the event that I've added is music_play to just play on event triggering. So let's check out in Unity what was added. Here in Unity, I decided to add the music as a child of the Wwise global game object here. Why? The Wwise global does not destroy and load, so this way, being a child of a parent object that does not destroy, unload, or does not renovate, the music is going to play from one scene to the other. And by this I mean the music is going to start playing when we start playing it, and every single time we press the restart button, it's going to flow normally. It's not gonna go back to the intro 0-1 music segment that we've just heard. We want it to play always the one in-game segment. So I've just added an event here to trigger on start, and it's music play, our event in Wwise. So here I want the state to change when our player dies. I created a new script in our player called state controller. And as you can see here, the state controller is on awake. So every time a player enters the scene, we want to set our music state, music underscore state, to in-game. So we want to listen to the drum and bassy non-low pass music. Whereas when on trigger enters, so when something hits our player and the player dies or gets destroyed, we want our music to go to the low muffed feeling of it. Let's see how this works. So the music is playing normally, but when we have our player die, the state changes from one to the other in a very, very gradual way, the way that we've decided to. So in this situation, it was 1.5 seconds. But if I press the R again, the R button in my keyboard for restarting the game, we're going to have a 2.5 transition. So, and there we go. Every time the player awakes, we get our music to set to in-game. And every time on trigger enter, so on collision, our music is also transitioned to another state. So this was one way that we can use states inside of Unity using Wise. There are many other ways, and in this situation I use music, but like I said in the beginning of the video, you can use it for the player related or environment related situations in design. So this was my video on states. If you have any questions or any feedback, any comments, please do so below. They are very, very much appreciated. And if you have any doubts or questions, either contact me via YouTube or via my email. So thank you for watching and have a good day.